Greetings. This is Escape from Trucking, and my name's Casey, and I've got another update on my Lincoln Town Car today. So, as you might guess from the thumbnail, my battery died, and I've had some electrical issues pop up. So let me see if I can do this with one hand here. There we go. Or maybe not. Sorry, I'm gonna have to use two hands for this, but I've had some electrical issues pop up in my Lincoln Town Car. Hold on, let me get this thing on. See, my hood strut, it don't work no more. It never did, ever since I bought this car about 7 months ago. Let me put this on here real quick. There we go. Okay, it's up. So, anyway, wanted to give you guys an update on my Lincoln Town Car Saga. Investment turned restoration nightmare, if you want to put it that way. It's actually not that bad, but for those who are watching this for the first time, about 7 months ago, I bought a Lincoln Town Car off of someone who had an estate sale from the daughter of a gentleman who passed away in a few towns south of here. And I bought it for $4,500. It had a slight rattle in the engine. I knew it was a timing chain issue, which is very common with these Lincoln Town Cars, but it ended up costing me way more than I thought it would. We'll just put it that way. And in addition to timing chain issues, it also had issues with the shift shaft seal and the speed sensor in the transmission. That was another costly fix. The ball joints had to be fixed, and there were a myriad of other things. And the long story short is, I was watching a lot of other YouTube channels. I'd watched a lot of other YouTube channels, and I kind of fell in love with the idea of these Panther platform models as you know, absolutely bulletproof engines, absolutely bulletproof cars, a body-on-frame platform. So I went ahead and bought one, and it needed way more work than I thought it would. We'll chalk that up to my own naivety. But today, I was well, not today, but the other day, I sat down to drive my car to go get groceries and go to work once a week, and the battery died. Or so I thought. The battery was dead. So, you know, I put the key in the ignition, and I heard like a click, 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 click sound. Classic dead battery. And it hadn't really surprised me, because the battery that the seller gave me was extremely generic. It had no label on it, so I figured, well, that's just a dead battery. So I went to O'Reilly or AutoZone, and I got one of these bad boys, put it in, and it worked just fine for about a month. And then about a couple of weeks ago, I sat down in my car, turned the ignition one more time, and it's the exact same problem. Click, 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 click. My dad seemed to think it was a starter issue. I really didn't think it was a starter. Then he said, "Oh, it must be the alternator." I didn't think it was the alternator either, because when I was driving, there was no warning sign. You know, typically if it's an alternator, when you're driving, the battery light comes on because it's not turning and powering the battery. So that didn't happen. So I figured there's got to be some kind of a parasitical electric power drain, some kind of an electric gremlin somewhere in this town car. So I went and I called the usual mechanic shop that I go to here in Tyler, and they said they didn't. I said, "Hey, I think I've got an electrical gremlin in here. There's some kind of a parasitic power drain. Could you come look at it?" Because if I were to do this on my own, there's no way I would have found it. There's just no way. I know what my own limitations are. That's one of them for sure. Okay. They said, "Well, we don't even do those things anymore." So I had to take it to a specialty auto shop on the end of town, and I don't even mind saying the name of the business because they did me so well. Auto Electronic Solutions, if you're in Tyler, Auto E, the Tyler branch. They actually did me really well. The gentleman there, I won't say his name. Just, you know, I won't say his name because he doesn't know I'm making this video. Told me he'd take a look at it, would charge me a reasonable price for the diagnostic, and he took a look at it, and it turned out that my first estimation was actually correct this time, that there was indeed a parasitic power drain. And he looked and looked and looked, and he found that it was, I thought it would be, I'll tell you what I thought it was. I thought it was maybe the battery wasn't connecting right, because this, I'm not going to unhook this like I did the other day, but it's a little bit rusty. I thought maybe the clamps weren't on right, or I thought maybe the anti-theft device was draining power. It was just a guess. What he found out was it was actually the horn, which is fantastic. He told me he kind of like got in it. He got in the system, and he kind of found out what had happened to this car. And what happened was the previous owner, who owned this car for, I think, 15, 16, 17 years, the horn started blaring all on its own, and instead of getting it fixed, this owner just let the horn blare out. He just left it until it stopped honking. And what happened was, according to this technician, who I believe, what happened was it went off, but the relay, the horn kept draining power, and it had been draining power for years. And in fact, the horn had been draining power for the duration of this time that I've owned the car. And it was draining the battery, which I mean, it's just crazy. It really is just crazy to think that. So he fixed it right quick, but now, of course, we have a problem that the horn doesn't work. So he went and he looked and looked and looked. And I think this is becoming increasingly a problem with cars that were made in the early 2000s, is that a lot of these parts are not as readily available as they used to be, even on these Panthers. Now, granted, this is the first time I ever ran into this problem with my town car. I've been able to replace the timing chain with no problem, the shift shaft seal, the ball joints, and a myriad of other things. I don't even remember all of them. We had to replace so many frickin' things on this. I never did have a problem with finding replacement parts up until now. He could not find a replacement horn for the town car for the life of him, and he told me that I would have to take a look in a junkyard, and he told me that I'd have to put it in myself and all this. I can't, dude. I'm happy to do just the most basic things, but for everything else, I'm gonna need a little help. So that was interesting. This was the first time I've ever taken the car in and had someone tell me they don't make the parts for this car anymore. You're just kind of out of luck. You'll have to look through junkyards. So, the good news is the car's back up and running. Well, I'll start the electronics up just because I want to show you this. I did just pass the 200,000 mile mark not too long ago while I was commuting to work. So, yay, 200,000 miles. My goal and my expectation is to get another 200,000 miles out of this town car. And driving it at the rate I've been driving it at, it'll take me like maybe 10 or 20 years to get there. But I've yet to take this car on a road trip, but I'm getting to the point where I'm going to Tulsa in a few weeks, and I feel like I'm ready to take my town car with me. I would at this point, and I want to say this in every every video about my town car, 2003 Lincoln Town Car that I make, I need to tell you, the viewer, a couple of things. Every single video. Had I known the repairs on this car would have been as much as they were, I thought maybe I would have to shell out a couple $1,000s to get this car back up to snuff, because it's the mighty Panther platform. And that was incorrect. I've spent thousands, probably at least $6,000 off the top of my head, getting this thing back up to where it needs to be. Had I known that it was going to cost me that much money, I would have just bought like a 08 Camry or an 08 Corolla or something like that and just called it a day for my backup car. I chased after this one because it was a bright shiny thing and it looked cool, and I fell in love with. I drank the Kool-Aid. I drank the Panther platform Kool-Aid. So I wouldn't, had I known it was going to cost me this much, I wouldn't have done it. Okay. And if you are not a mechanically inclined person, if you don't really know that much about these cars, and you rely on mechanics and professional people to do most of your maintenance work, these cars might not be for you. That's my honest experience. Maybe I just got unlucky, but I think if you are not a mechanic, if you are a mechanically inclined person, you like working on your own cars, this car could be a dream. You know, I don't doubt some of you guys who have said that I'm being extorted, call me dumb, you know, whatever, belittled me in the comments section, which is okay. I don't care. It's whatever. But I'm sure some of you guys probably could have gotten this thing back up and running for $1,500, $2,000. And good on you. That's just not where I am. And if that's not where you are either, dear viewer, you know, these cars really aren't that great of investments. They're, if your experience winds up being anything like mine, this will not be an investment. It will be a restoration project, and you will be shelling out 4Gs, 5Gs, 6Gs or more to get the town car up and running. Now, that being said, all that being said, I would be absolutely lying to you. Oh, it's hot in here. I would be absolutely lying to you if I said that I don't enjoy driving this car. I absolutely love driving this car. I could fall asleep in this car, except on 100 degree days in East Texas, and I don't have the aircon running. But when I'm driving this car, I could fall asleep in it. It's that comfortable. It's that old school. It's nice. It smells nice. I feel like, fun fact, this car was made just when I got out of college. I feel like I'm back in my college days, like I'm stepping in a time machine. It is really nice, and just driving this car just puts a smile on my face. Okay, it does. So I'm keeping it. I might as well. I put all this work into it. It runs real nice now, so I'm keeping it. But it wasn't a very good financial decision, not for me. Where I'm at, given my mechanical abilities, it wasn't a good financial decision. But I do love driving it. Just to wrap the video up, if you are in the market for a Panther platform car and you're about where I am with mechanical abilities, which is darn near zero, watch out for those timing chains. If you hear any like little rattle in there, like it sounds like there's a couple of rocks in a can, that's a timing chain, and the chances are it's going to cost you more than a couple grand. You know, it cost me $4,400 to do. Okay, I'm a little embarrassed to say so, but you know, what the heck, right? What's the point to making a YouTube video if I'm going to sit here and cover up how I'm feeling? There's no point. That'd be really phony and fake. So that, if you hear that, just understand what you're getting into. Also, my understanding is look for the problems with the blend door actuator and problems with the intake manifold. I'd say those are the top three. I guess one thing I've really learned, and I'm not going to keep you too long because I think I'm going on and on here, but one thing I've really learned here is that I don't get it twisted. I do love the Panther platform cars, and they were very well made cars when they were made, okay? But that was a long time ago, all right? These cars are getting old, and the truth of the matter is, most of these people out here that own cars, they treat them like shit. They don't properly maintain these cars. So, you know, even with the mighty Panther platform, with that V8 4.8 liter engine and the wonderful body on frame, chances are the owner of that car treated it like crap and neglected it like 80% of most people do. I mean, that's just the statistical probability of it. It doesn't even really matter how well made some of these cars are. With the way people out here treat cars, you gotta, I guess I'm talking about my own experience. I probably should have been more cynical. I didn't really, you know, it looked nice, and I thought because it looked nice, it was well maintained, and I was just dead wrong. So be careful of those things. Just to wrap it up real quick, I got my the town car had an electrical draw. I got it fixed. Auto E Solutions fixed it for just a couple $100. So hey, I'll take it. Town car's back up and running. It's past its 200,000 mile mark. The horn doesn't work anymore, and for the first time ever, I've had problems finding replaceable parts for this car. I don't know if that's a harbinger of things to come, or maybe if the horn is such an idiosyncratic piece of this car that they just don't make them anymore. It just is what it is. I don't know. That's up to you, dear viewer, to draw a conclusion from my personal experience. But that's my personal experience. Love my town car. Still love it. It hurts. It hurt how much money it took from me. Still love it. Still going to keep driving it. And going to keep making YouTube videos about it too. So thanks for watching. See you next time.